from the TMC Weather Channel. This is a severe weather update.
Yep, and we are back here, live coverage after the storms have passed through. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Tanner Zero, and getting ready to walk out here really quickly. Just a couple things behind the scenes, and there we go. Yeah, we are live here with back continuous coverage. Thank you for joining us, everybody. I'm Tanner Zero. Storms have already rolled through Frederick, Carroll counties, Baltimore County, Baltimore City, Howard, Anne Arundel, Hartford, and now moving into Cecil counties, Cecil and the Eastern Shore. And you can see this is still a squall line that is still setting up. We'll have all that information right here. So thanks for joining us, like I said, everybody. I'm Tanner Zero. Looking here right now at the latest information. What we're looking at here is our rotation tracker, and you can see all of these boxes that have that white outline. Those are considerable and destructive severe thunderstorm warnings. And this is the very big segment on the Eastern Shore. You can see they have maxed out that rotation tracker to an extreme area of rotation down there, just outside of Centerville, just to the just to the east there of Queenstown, and just to the west of Star. That is where they have that area of rotation, and they have maxed out the rotation tracker once again. Switching over to base velocity, this is where they kind of have that area of rotating winds. But, you know, when they look at that area of rotating winds, you got red obviously going away and green coming towards. Now, we are using the KLWX radar site last time I checked. Yes, we are. All right, so we're still using the KLWX radar site. And what we have is we have winds going away, and then we have winds coming towards, which means right here, that's where you could have some possible rotation or just straight line wind damage that is, you know, kind of pushing this this system here further and further eastward, and then it will eventually cross over there into what is Delaware. I had to think about that for a sec. But like I said, they have maxed out that rotation tracker to its extreme strength, and, you know, we have talked about this from time to time. That is, you know, that's what you get out of this. But here's a look at that storm movement. And this, all of that red, you're probably thinking to yourself, you know, you're probably thinking that's a lot of, you know, red, and it's maxed out. And, you know, yes, it is maxed out there, but, you know, it's more of this. And let's see if we can actually get a pixel on it. Yeah, these are winds upwards to 60 and 70 mile an hour as this still moves. Looks like we do have something trying to redevelop back there, but that is something that we are going to have to watch. Like we said, they do have flash flood warnings in effect, and that also goes up here through Hartford County, extending into Cecil County, where we have those flash flood warnings in effect. But other than that, with the rest of the state, if we put this back here in motion, you know, over the past, let's call it 15 minutes, we'll say. Past 15 minutes, you can see as it's started back here into Hartford and as it started back here into Howard and Baltimore County, and it has just since progressed eastward. And, you know, we've talked about that west to east thing. Now, a lot of people were asking, you know, what are we expecting for the day tomorrow? And the day tomorrow is going to be the same thing as what we saw today. A lot of that west to eastward, you know, convection, as we call it. Now, the only reason these were so intense today is because these were in front of a cold front. You know, it's what is called a squall line, and it's what happens in front of a cold front. And let me pull this up here if we can actually go to that, and we can zoom this in here. I'll get a little nerdy here for a quick sec. All right, so this is a surface analysis map. There's our cold front just hanging to the north of Pennsylvania, out through you got Kentucky, Indiana there, Ohio, you got West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, southern parts of Virginia, New Jersey. But a majority of this is we're focusing over Pennsylvania. That's that cold front. We have what is called squall lines in front of it, and that are thunderstorms that pop off in front of the, you know, that pop off in front of this cold front. So this is the latest. Let me check what time this was. This was let's see. This was at 6 o'clock on the dot. So right over 40 minutes old now here. But everything that happens in front of this cold front, that is, you know, that's where you get those main producing cells with those thunderstorms. But once again, it is called a squall line because these are thunderstorms that happen in front of a cold front, you know, before the cold front actually does do itself. Let's come back here to Doppler radar and just watch this progression over the past hour. Like we said, past half hour. It started out here. It has since moved over, and you can still see as it's going to continue to move here, even at this current time frame right now. But coming up here at 6:40 now on the dot. Lots of heavy rain, even some thunderstorms over the eastern shore. But like we said, that is the eastern shore's focus now. But now, with that being said, a lot of people, they've asked, what do we expect here over, central Maryland now that all that severe weather is done? And quick answer to that is, just some light rain showers throughout the rest of the night. But our severe weather threat for central Maryland and Adam and York County, Pennsylvania, our severe weather threat is done for the night. In fact, and you can see this line, it almost kind of has like a little bend there over Newcastle County, Delaware. But this even still extends up here into portions of New Jersey where they have considerable warnings up there as well. And I mean, they have a decent, some decent thunderstorms up here, but a relatively, like I said, down through our area, all of the severe weather has come across the Chesapeake Bay. With that being said, our severe weather threat has come to an end, but a lot of heavy rain is still ongoing, especially through my area. If I pop up the window here really quick, looking outside, the sun's back out. The sun's out and a little bit of light rain through our area, but all of the severe weather, once again, the severe weather has exited onto the eastern shore here. Now, somebody just asked about rain, I think. How much rainfall has come down? Let me check here really quick. Let me check really quickly. All right. All right, looking here. Thank you to the over 500 people for watching us here. I really appreciate that. Where is it at? I just saw that comment. Somebody asked about rainfall. It's somewhere, but yeah, let me get that. Let me actually pull that up here for a quick sec for you. Let me remember what screen this is on. Let's do last 3 hours of rainfall. So over the past 3 hours, it's going to be these areas that have seen that heavy rainfall. Now, do mind you, these are radar estimated, but over right around 3 inches of rain throughout Harford County, around an inch to maybe an inch and a half throughout Baltimore County, eastern Baltimore County. But other than that, we didn't really pick up as much rain as expected today, through that. So let me see. Somebody just commented something else here. All right. Perfect. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end our live coverage here. We appreciate you for joining us. And, of course, if anything else does come up, we will bring you the latest severe, that is the wrong thing. We will bring you the severe weather coverage. But in the meantime, everybody, have a great rest of your night. And, of course, if any more watches, warnings, or advisories are issued, we'll bring it back here to you live. But in the meantime, everybody, I'm Tanner Sierra. Have a great rest of your night.